Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about the second decan of Aquarius, which is 10 to 19.59 degrees. 59, of course, represents minutes of arc. The third decan technically begins at 20 degrees Aquarius. Now, this does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Now, first off, the rulers, Saturn and Uranus. Both those planets rule Aquarius. Now the sub-ruler is Mercury. This the Gemini decan of Aquarius. This can give some Gemini flavoring. Now, as far as the appearance goes, person may be thinner. The arms and legs may be longer on average than the typical Aquarius person. Features might be lengthier. The forehead may be broader. And this person that has this, decan of Aquarius, second decan, really may be more vivacious, animated, versatile, restless, loquacious, and mercurial. I would say this is the most adaptable of the Aquarius decans because you have the Gemini sub-influence, and Gemini is a mutable sign. This is a person that may be enamored with internet communications more so than most. Many people are anyway, regardless of astrological placements. But this particular, the decan can be strongly infatuated with this because keep in mind Aquarius is connected with social media and the internet. Gemini is associated with just communications in general. Now, this is a person that may have have more of an interest in wide divergence of subjects because of the Gemini flavoring. This could be, you know there may be many Aquarius endeavors this person is interested in, including computers, astrology, electronics, astronomy, aviation, meteorology, and innovation as some examples. Um, the person may be involved in manifold humanitarian endeavors. I would say too, this decan, of Aquarius could be very, exceptionally averse to deep connections. Aquarius is very freedom oriented. Gemini doesn't like to be pinned down, more on a figurative level. And this could be somebody that could really, be someone that articulates, innovative, ingenious ideas very easily. Aquarius by itself, can be very lucid and perspicacious in how they communicate and convey ideas. And the Gemini sub-influence could add eloquence to this. And I would say too, that this could be a person that could be very, proficient in doing, something, like technical work with computers and electronics. I mean, the Aquarius influence by itself, can be proficient in those fields. But then you have the Gemini sub-influence dexterity added to the mix, so that really can help immensely, and again give that ability to work with the hands in those technical fields. This could be somebody that might flourish in doing like diagnostic work on vehicles, computer involving electronic wiring and of vehicles and things of that nature. And this is, also too, looking at this. This is somebody, that might, may form many different, friends. I mean, Aquarius by itself is the universal friend. Gemini, of course, is connected with variety. When you look at, this, this decan, it gives more, cleverness, shrewdness to the Aquarius personality. Again, it's the most I would say the most adaptable of the Aquarius Deacons. And the fact is, I mean, all Aquarius Deacons, whether it's the first, second, or third, can be communicative, have, speaking abilities, clear reasoning power. But the thing about, this too is, it's important, as I've stated in previous videos, to good contraindicators and modifying influences in the chart. If you have this, let's say this deacon, say you have the Aquarius sun at this deacon, right? But let's say, you have, preponderance of planets on the bottom half of the chart and or more introverted ascendant like Cancer or Pisces. That can modify this to some degree because you're probably going to be somebody that's more introverted, more introspective, more to yourself, preferring more of a private life as opposed to a public one. You still may have very good communicative skills and make friends readily, but there might be fewer ones that you may make, and it could be where you may be more selective in terms of the friends you have, as an example. So it's important, again, as I've stated before in previous videos, that not to isolate any one, single proponent in the chart, element, planetary placement, aspect, what have you, and make an analysis of a person astrologically speaking, because the person's the sum of all the components in the natal chart, not just one. But anyway, in this person too, may, having the more, being the most adaptable on average of the Aquarius Deacons, also the most changeable, and the person may not have quite, the persistence, say, compared to the first Deacon of Aquarius especially. But again, it's important to look at the whole chart, and Aquarius by itself is still, it is a fixed sign. It does have certain persistence and tenacity. And say you have this Aquarius Deacon, again, using the sun in Aquarius as an example, but you have a preponderance of major astrological influence and fixed signs as well. That will still help add a lot of, persistence, stick-to-itiveness, being able to follow through on matters very easily. And the thing too about this as well, and it's really important. If you're married to this person, to somebody that has this Aquarius Deacon, you may have to expect certain detachment. And I was stating before, Aquarius by itself can be very freedom oriented. They often thrive on independence in their life. And Gemini sub-influence again can be one, which makes the person even harder to pin down. These people may often like their connections more superficial. Like, person can make friends readily. Aquarius is like, again, that universal friend, but they need their detachment. Remember that Aquarius can be very paradoxical. It's again, it's that sign of friendship, and they have Aquarius has little difficulty in making friends, but they need to have a certain distance from people as well, and generally are not into the deep connections, unless of course you do have contraindicators, modifying influences in the chart, such as, say, a Scorpio ascendant, as an example. Could be somebody that may desire deeper connections than a typical person that has this Aquarius Deacon. Let's say somebody has Aquarius rising at this Deacon, but they have their Venus in Scorpio. Well, the thing about that is you've got to factor that in and figure that the person may actually be more inclined toward deeper connections than the typical Aquarius rising person at this Deacon, as an example. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.